Yes, I sent the presentation. I sure did. I sure did. I gotta sing Little Red Corvette. How about I leave the singing to someone who can do it well? And how about I leave the teaching to what I can do well? How about we do that? How about we leave the singing to someone who can sing well and let me do this teaching? Your go. Hold on, Instagram. You know this be a fool. Game plan day 3 post. All right, post pin comment. All right, let's do this, people. What's up? Happy Friday. Happy Friday. Happy Friday. Look at us, huh? Look at us. 3 days of absolutely amazing work we've been putting in. How y'all feel tonight? Come in here and speak, okay? Don't come in here. I didn't wake up with you this morning. Come in here and say something. Happy Friday. Yes. Hello. Hi. Konnichiwa. Hola. Okay. Bonjour. Oh, is that goodbye? Oh, is bonjour goodbye? Oh, okay, just say hi. What's up, everybody? I hope you guys are doing really well on a Friday night. This is Friday, and we're about to get in some really good work on a Friday. I went ahead and emailed everybody today. Did you guys get my email? I sent you an email. Check your spam. In your email, you should have the presentation for tonight. It's our day 3. You got it? Good, 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 good. Good, good, good. You got it. Perfect. If you don't have it, I don't know what to tell you. I would say go to dariuscooks.tv/focus, but I didn't set up the sequence. So you just go with us. How about that? Just go with us, right? So this is what we're doing. If you're brand new around here, you don't know what the heck is going on, this is what we're doing. I'm starting a business academy because so many people ask me, how am I able to make so much money online? What are the secrets? Everybody wants to know, pretty much how I am doing, right? And how I do it. So I said, cool, I don't mind putting together an 8-week course to teach you. But before I do that, I want to lay some groundwork to literally center our thoughts and sort of get our psychological awareness in order on what it means to be, a millionaire, what it means to make money online, and the whole bit. So for the last 2 days, we've done some really good work. Wednesday night, we talked about a millionaire mindset, huh? And then last night, we talked about what is your focus, right? And that was some good work yesterday. Yesterday was really, really good. And so tonight, I want to give you some tools, right? So tonight it's going to be literally all about business. We've done the groundwork with the psychology. We've done the groundwork with mindset. And so I want to give you some practical business application on a high level, because obviously we don't have enough time to delve into the deep end on what I really want us to focus on. So it'll be pretty much high level. But we'll knock it out the park nonetheless, right? So we've talked about where we are, how we're structured. We've been doing this live every night. We've been on Periscope and Instagram Live and YouTube Live and Facebook Live and all over the place. The PDF's available at dariuscooks.tv/focus. If you go there and sign up for the email list, you'll get day 1 and 2 emailed to you. I'll add in day 3. I emailed you earlier, so make sure you check your spam for day 3. Afterwards, we will do a Q&A live. The Q&A is going to be in the Darius Cooks Facebook group. So come join us over there if you want to have a good time, all right? I just got a question. Have you been blessed these last 2 days? These last 2 days that we've been together, has anything jumped out at you? Has anything sparked some kind of fire or some kind of passion inside of you? Has anything that I've said over the last 2 days made any kind of sense in terms of what we've been doing. It's making sense for you? Okay, good. Good, 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 good. You know, I'm thinking, is my living in... I probably shouldn't sing that in light of recent events. I probably shouldn't sing that in light of recent events. All right, let's roll with tonight and let's go. So I'm on slide number 4 of tonight. And basically, I want to give you a roadmap, man. That's it. I just want to give you a roadmap on how to make your next million. That's it. Or your first million. If you haven't made your first million, I want to give you a roadmap on that. Anybody want to be a millionaire? Anybody want to make a couple of dollars? Anybody out here want to make some money online? Anybody out here like, yo, bruh, I want to get this money? Let's dig in, man. Let's dive in, let's dig in, and let's get to going. So earlier this week, hopefully I've had a chance to help you understand what success looks like for you, and how to put your mind frame into what success might look like for people who are really about making some money, right? I've tried to dispel some of the myths about what success really is and how so many people think that you got to have your passion, you got to have your purpose, you got to have all these things figured out if you want to make $1 million in business. And to be honest with you, we know that the first place to start is really what you're good at, right? Take a moment and just find out, what am I good at, right? We know that all of us are created for a specific purpose. There's specificity in the reason that we're actually here, placed on this earth. We realize that, right? I'm a God dude. So Genesis chapter 1, verse 26, then God said to us, let us make man in our own image. So that means that anybody who is out here creating something, you know that your creations are for an intended purpose, right? You're not out here haphazardly creating something saying, I have no idea what this is used for. There's a reason you're doing what you're doing, right? There's a reason you create what you create, and there's a reason you were placed here on this earth and you're listening to me, right? So that means you've got something that you're good at. My goal for you is just to identify what that is, right? The second piece to the whole success pie is all about understanding what you want to focus on, right? The reason that a lot of us have been unable to focus on anything specific or any sort of target is because there's all these things clouding our view, right? All these things in our past, all these things that have held us back, what people said we could or couldn't be, all these sort of things that put us in a self-imposed prison that have really been holding us back. That's been the key reason why we've not been able to focus. So yesterday, I really wanted to dig in on some key ways you can sort of clear out some of that stuff, work on some stuff for yourself, some forgiveness, some groundwork, and get you to a point where you can actually focus on whatever it is that you wanted to focus on, right? And now, what do you do next, right? Now what happens? I've done all this work, right? I know what I want to focus on, right? I've got my mindset. Now what happens next? And that's what I want to talk about today. On slide number 6, I want to talk about the Go Game Plan cycle. Now I'm calling this the Go Game Plan because it's like double dutch. You ever remember double dutch? Huh? You know, I'm from the hood, all right? I'm from the west side of Chicago. I am from the hood, okay? And the kids don't do this these days. They got Fortnite. I don't know what the hell Fortnite is, okay? I don't know. I'm disconnected from that part of culture. But when I was growing up on the west side of Chicago, the little fast girls be outside with the rope, okay? And you take, it's a rope. I don't even know if they sell these anymore. They call them a jump rope. It was long, there's a long string. It was like white, or if it was dingy, it was like gray. But it was like white, and it was a long rope. And sometimes they double it up, you know. So it's like 2 ropes put together as 1 rope. But then you had 2, because that was a single, right? And so you had the double dutch, so you needed 2. You need 2 ropes, okay? And then they would turn it like this. Like it was a way they turn. I never did jump rope. I don't know, I never knew how to do it, but I seen them do it a lot, right? They would jump rope like this, and the big girls was gonna jump rope, the big girls have to hold their chest like this, so they tickle bitties, wouldn't bump up and down when they get the jump rope, okay? So they get in the jump rope. See, the thing about the jump rope is you had to get in at the right time, okay? Yes, tickle bitties. You had to get in. It's Friday. We should be able to laugh. Yesterday was a little deep, okay? So today we should be able to laugh a little bit, all right? The thing about the jump rope was you had to be able to get in at a certain time. And I think the thing about the Go game plan that's so great is you don't have to start at any specific point in the game plan, okay? You can start at any part of the game plan that you want to start in, as long as you end up making a full circle. Now, I know that is atypical. That is not what you are used to hearing when it comes to how you run business, right? I know you hear, do this first, do this first, do this second, do this third. I kind of don't believe in that, because I do believe that running business is cyclical. There are things that you're going to go through that you're going to start at one point, end at another point. I just want to touch on sort of what these pieces are. Now, there's absolutely so much more than just the 4 I'm going to talk about, but today we're going to touch on the 4. I'm going to start at the bottom, okay, and work my way around. So we're going to start with revenue mapping. Ooh, let's talk about money first. Ain't that what everybody want to talk about? Don't everybody want to talk about money first? Let's talk about money first. So we're going to start with revenue mapping. I'm going to show you an example of how I used to map out revenue for my business and what that sort of looks like, right? You take what you're good at and you figure out how to monetize it. We talked about that. Now let's talk about how to make it make some real dollars and real cents, right? Then we're going to touch on branding a little bit. We'll touch on social media and obviously learning and coaching, which is a big key for the reason why you're here. The reason you're here is because I'm going to do this 8-week course that's going to be amazing. It's going to walk you through, my key framework on how I do business and how I make money, and really set you up to be very, very, very successful. But let's just start with revenue mapping, and we'll go into this more in detail in the 8-week course, but I want to give you an idea. So what we talked about yesterday is this. If you're going to be successful in business, you've got to do one of two things. Once you find out what you're good at, you have to do what? Offer it as a product, right? Or you need to offer it as a service. That's it, right? It's really not that difficult, but you have to be able to offer it as either a product or as a actual service, right? So earlier on, when I first started out in this entrepreneurial journey, I used to have this event called Dining with Darius Cooks, right? Because I figured if I'm going to do this, I don't want to just offer one product, right? I want to offer a few products. I want to offer a few different products, not just one product. So I used to offer a product. I mean, it's still not off the table. I'm just not doing it this year, right? But Dining with Darius Cooks. Anybody ever heard of Dining with Darius Cooks? Anybody ever heard of that? Anybody ever had a chance to come and experience Dining with Darius Cooks? It's a 7-course dinner party that I used to do all over the country, from sea to shining sea. I'm still tired, okay? I'm still tired. Y'all came? Okay, Instagram, I see you. I see you. Okay. Well, look, when I first started out doing and I'm on slide number 7. When I first started out doing Dining with Darius Cooks, I offered it at $175 a ticket. All right, $175 a ticket. There was 25 seats. So essentially, I was able to map out revenue of $4,375 per event. All right. $4,375 per event. And so to me, I wanted to figure out, now remember, I'm trekking toward what success means to me. So I'm measuring my success in terms of money. So for me, I said, well, if I do it X amount of times for X amount of periods and sold X amount of seats, what would that look like for me? So I'm looking at what my financial goal is, right? So in this example on slide number 7, if I did it in a 6-month time period, my financial goal would have been $210,000. All right, $210,000. Because if I did Dining with Darius Cooks 8 times a month, and I did it for 6 months straight, it would give me 210. If I flipped it and did it for a year straight, it'll put me at $420,000. I'm good with the 210 for now, right? So then, on top of that, I added on another product event, right, called Cooking with Darius Cooks. Y'all remember this? It's been gone for a little bit. I haven't done Cooking with Darius Cooks in about 2 years, but it was a cooking class that I used to do on Wednesdays and Thursdays. So if you're brand new to me and you have no idea what I'm talking about, I used to fly out and do Dining with Darius Cooks. I would fly out on a Friday, right? I would go to wherever I was going on a Friday. The dinners would be Saturday and then Sunday, right? I would fly home on Monday, switch suitcases, fly somewhere Tuesday morning for Cooking with Darius Cooks, so I do Tuesday and then Wednesday in the same city, turn around, fly home on Thursday to switch suitcases and then fly back out on Friday again, okay? Let me tell you something. Yes, I did, okay? So I would do that 8 times a month for 6 months straight. That would net me $126,000. So this is what you gotta realize when you come to revenue mapping. There is no limit to what you can do. Understand that. When it comes to your business and you're looking at what is the cap in terms of how far you can go with revenue, ain't no cap. You can go as far as you want to go when it comes to revenue. And that is a hard concept to swallow if you've been working a 9-to-5 job for a long time, because you're used to saying, well, I'm working a 9-to-5 job. I make $47,000 a year. I got my insurance and my 401k. I'm good, right? I'm telling you, in 6 months, I made $210,000. I made 5 times as much as I would have made in a corporate position in half the time. So if I would have worked it for a full year, I would have 10x'd my salary in just one product. To me, this sounds like exploring. All right. So the option to quit my job was literally a no-brainer. If I'm able to 10x my salary, it's a no-brainer. All right. So we do Cooking with Darius Cooks. Then guess what I decided to do? I said, I'm gonna put my shirt down. Sorry, YouTube. I said to myself, I said, yo, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna write me a little piece of cookbook. Yeah. I mean, why not? Ain't that what you're supposed to do? I'm gonna write me a little piece of cookbook. Let me tell you something about this cookbook. The Lord was all up and through the cookbook ministry, okay? Had it not been for stories from my grandmother's kitchen, which all of you guys have supported, I gotta tell you something. My life would not be where it is today, okay? Today, well over 7 figures on a cookbook. Well over 7 figures on a cookbook. The cookbook is the way to go. Amen? So listen, what I said to myself with the cookbooks is that if I was able to sell 1,500 cookbooks a month, now I don't know how many followers I had back then, right? Obviously not as many as I have today, but if I was able to sell 1,500 cookbooks a month, that would net me over the course of a year $593,000. Okay? 593. So when you add all of these products together, see, the thing about product creation that's so important is product creation has to be congruent. You can't do stuff that's completely obtuse, that's completely out of the picture. right? So all these things were sort of complementary one toward the other. So if I did this successfully, right, by literally only working hard for 6 months out of the week, out of 6 months out of the year, I'm gonna pull in $929,000. Now, this don't include ad revenue. This didn't include, when you guys see me post stuff like the sponsored ads, I typically get anywhere between $15,000 and $20,000 per post that you see me post. And this is no exaggeration. If you follow me on my Instagram stories, I've shown you the actual receipts where the negotiations have happened. And then the client comes back and they go, we agree. This is good. We talked it over with finance. Let's go. All right. So while people out there doing posts for $100 and $200, once you establish yourself as a subject matter expert, we're talking 5 figures to post on Instagram. Okay. If you want me to post for you, it's 5 figures. I did a whole campaign with Organic Valley, $20,000 with Organic Valley. Not lying about any of this. You've seen the receipts, right? So when you look at the totality of those numbers, you're looking at $1 million. All right. So, but listen, that ain't $1 million in cash. Okay. That's not $1 million in cash. Okay. Because you got to spend money to make some money. Right? What do we call that? We call that the cost of doing business. All right? We call that the cost of doing business. People who are astute in business don't mind dropping a little cash as capital because we know we'll make it back exponentially. You saw me write a $34,000 check the other day for my cookbooks. I'm going to make it back exponentially. So I don't mind dropping a little piece of cash, right? So we look at the cost of doing business somewhere around the 35 to 40% range. And that's been super conservative when it comes to the numbers, right? So you're looking at about 371 grand in expenses, and in pocket, you're looking at 557,000. Now, the thing about, and you can say what you want to say, and we do, about number 45, all right? With the wall and the whole bit. You can say what you want to say. But the way millionaires think is just like them white boys in Congress, all right? The way a millionaire thinks is like them white boys in Congress, okay? Tax cuts, saving money on the front end, all right, is super important. Owning a business is important. Why is owning a business important? Because you can do things with deductions and expenses on a business line that you cannot do on a personal line, okay? You just can't do it, all right? Let me tell you who's your new best friend end of the year. His name is Schedule C, okay? His name is Schedule C. And these days, there's so much that you can write off. People go, oh my God, you're buying this, tax write-off. Oh my God, you're going on a cruise, tax write-off. Oh my God, you're going on vacation, tax write-off. Okay? You either pay it in taxes or you benefit from the exchange of goods. We'll talk about that in the 8-week course. Okay, let's keep going. So 557 in my pocket, to me, that seemed to be real good. So remember I told you what I wanted you to do is I wanted you to get yourself to a point where you were able to understand what success meant for you. In the same regard to this, I need you to write this down. How much money do I want in order to feel comfortable? The Bible says money answereth all things, right? How much money do I want? Not need, okay? Because I don't need 557. I don't need that. You see what I'm saying? But I want that, okay? So how much money do I want? And to be very honest with you, there's no reason if you have a desire, you can't manifest that desire into a reality. But what you cannot do is manifest a desire into reality and the desire is not defined, Okay? The desire is not defined. I know what you're saying. I want a lot of money. Why? What is a lot? What does that even mean for you? What is a lot? Okay? Because I'll venture to tell you this. Most people don't want to be rich. I'm going to go on record and say that. Most people in life don't want to be rich. People want what rich gives them access to. Whew. Yeah, most people don't want to be rich, but you want what money gives you access to. So in order to understand exactly what that is, what have you defined as the desire? If you wanted money and you wanted to be rich, you would know the number. You don't know the number, right? What do people say? If I had this, I would do that. That ain't money. If I had this, I would do this. That ain't money. That's what money gives you. If I had this, I would go buy this. If I had this, I would go do that, right? You want what money gives you access to, not necessarily the actual money, right? So in thinking of that, I need you to understand what that definition looks like. All right, we got to move on. All right, so here's what you do. All right, we're going to put together a formula, and the formula we're going to put together is going to be our product earning worksheet. Okay, we're on slide number 8. All right, we're going to put together what we call our product earning worksheet. What I want you to do is I want you to understand the product retail value. Retail value is so important, right? Because retail, and we go over this in the 8-week course, retail value is all about market fluctuation. Please write this down, okay? Retail value is all about market fluctuation. Millionaires don't play checkers, millionaires play chess, okay? Millionaires do not play checkers. They play chess. It is about the end goal, not the beginning. All right? So I'll give you a perfect example of what I mean about how a millionaire thinks, right? The question would be, all right, I'm good at cooking. I want to open a restaurant. Am I able to sustain a restaurant based on the value of the market I'm involved in, right? Probably, I probably could, right? It's been 2 years, we're still standing, so that proved to be true. What's the initial cost of opening a restaurant, right? I probably pay out of my pocket about $85,000 to open a restaurant. Okay, so a millionaire goes, all right, I pay $85,000. At what point do I break even from the $85,000? About month 4, month 5, we broke completely even. Anything I make above the $85K that I put in is now considered profit. I'm made back whole, and now it is generating income for me on a continual basis, right? So the question you have to ask yourself is, what are you selling your product or your service for at a what is the retail value of what you're selling? I'll give you a very good example. My cookbook. If you notice, I do not sell my cookbooks on Amazon. I do not sell my cookbooks with Barnes & Noble. I don't sell my cookbooks no place but one site, DariusCooks.tv. Because essentially what I've done is I've created my own Amazon through my own framework and my own technique, and I can control the market fluctuation. Nobody else controls that. See, on Amazon, here's what happens. You've got to compete what everybody else is doing, right? You've got to get in there and compete, all right? My cookbook has to compete with people who are on Food Network. My cookbook has to compete with people who are on Bravo, people who are celebrities who've got millions of followers. My cookbook has to compete with them on that platform. Guess what? On my own platform, my cookbook competes with nobody except for me. That is called the market. And the value of the market, I am able to dictate, which is really, really, really important. Because guess what? If I want the market to increase or decrease, I only have to press one button to make it happen. All right. So when you think about how you're going to set up whatever you're going to be selling as a product or service, the question is, what is the retail value of that? All right. Number two, you have to calculate and do a projection on how many can you sell, right? How many events, how many tickets, how many products are you able to sell on a monthly basis? And I'm going to give you a key here. This is a freebie. This ain't even included in this. A smart entrepreneur has at least 3 products: a low-range product, a mid-range product, and a high-ticket product. Everybody got something they could spend. And if people are in tune with who you are, you've increased your like, your trust factor. People love you. They love what you're about. They're going to support you in some kind of way, right? The thing is, they're supporting you based on what their budgetary restraints are. Not everybody can pay for a high ticket item, but everybody could pay for a low ticket item, right? And you don't want to miss that low hanging fruit. And I know what you're saying. Oh, I'll just focus on high ticket items. Listen, round here, we don't leave no money on the table. We pick up all the coin we can, okay? So the deal is this. I'll give you another example. I have a cookbook out, a new vegan cookbook. Many of you guys have pre-ordered the new vegan cookbook, right? I retail, the book retails in my market for $32.99. It don't cost me $32.99 to make the cookbook. If I put the cookbook on sale and slash the price, people go, oh my gosh, the book's not selling. Watch this. Even at $32.99, half of that is $15 and some change, $16. It still don't cost me $16 to make the book. We're playing chess, not checkers, right? So even at $16, which is half the price of the book at 50%, I ain't gonna tell you the book price, but I can tell you that even at half, I'm still pulling in a 500 to 600% profit on the book. If you buy it at regular price, right, that's a 1,200% profit on the book, right? It's about market. It's about fluctuation. So you got to understand how many you can sell. And my job is to help you create your product so you can sell more. Okay? Subtract out the cost of doing business. You got to know how much this stuff is going to cost you. Okay? Now, the idea is to be very conservative. I want you to keep more cash in your pocket and not paying it out. So you got to be smart about how you're spending your money and how you're allocating your expenses. All right? There's a lot of really great tools that are available. I'll tell you one thing I used to do. You know, do anybody watch me on YouTube? Anybody see I have this YouTube channel with 125,000 subscribers. Anybody ever see my YouTube channel? It's a little YouTube channel. And I post these really great YouTube cooking tutorials on my YouTube channel, right? You might have noticed that over the last 12 months, 13 at this point, the last 13 months, the content has gotten considerably better. It looks professional. It looks well put together. It looks well produced, right? Because what was happening was when I was doing it myself, I was like, bro, this is a mess. This is too much. I would shoot the videos myself. Then I would go sit down and try to edit the video. So to put together one video, I'm literally spending 3 days to put together one video. Nah, bruh. What I could do is I could allocate capital resources to the cost of doing business. This is how a millionaire thinks. I'm not a videographer. I'm not a video editor. I should probably do what I am good at. And it ain't that. Let somebody else who's good at that do that and pay them to do that, right? Because you're going to save money in the long run because you could use that time and energy to go create 5 more figures somewhere else and have it paid for just like that. All right, let me keep going. Taxability is important. You got to pay Uncle Sam, people. Get you a little piece of accountant. Okay? I will tell you, I made so much money 3 years ago, my federal tax bill was upwards of $135,000. Okay? All right? I was pissed. And that was after all the deductions. All right? Now we take a little bit more. I didn't own my house back then. I own my house now. Okay? So now we take advantage now of some of those things. So don't think you get away scot-free because Uncle Sam is watching. And if you do any of this stuff where you're collecting money online through PayPal or Samcart or Shopify, guess what? You got to fill out a W-9. Guess what they're going to give you at the end of the year? A 1099, okay? That 1099 is going to be filed with the IRS. And the IRS is going to say, hey, bro, listen, we got a 1099 that got your FEIN on it or your social security number. What up? Come see me. Okay? All right. Then I want you to evaluate your profit. Number 5 is really important. Number 5 is really, really, really important because the profit evaluation part is where you go, I feel real comfortable with this. You know what I mean? Like you go, I feel really good about where I am. Now, if your profit evaluation numbers come out to being lower than what you feel like you're going to be comfortable at, you've got to go back and do some calculations, right? But these 5 steps will help you get there a little bit easier because you can go back and you can reevaluate your retail value. Maybe your retail value is a little bit low. Maybe you want to up your retail value, right? Maybe the number of things that you're actually selling, I'm on slide number 8. Maybe the number of things you're selling is maybe a little bit too low. Maybe you're not offering enough product. Maybe you're only offering 1 product, and maybe you should offer 2 or 3 or 4 products that are all in congruence with what's going on, right? Maybe the cost of doing business is way too high and you're not figuring out how to optimize resources to make it a little bit lower, right? So, a perfect example is, how I look at restaurants. People say to me all the time, hey, Darius, do you do investing? Do you invest in stocks and bonds and all that? No, I invest in myself, right? So I opened up a new restaurant called Soul Crab. You might have heard of Soul Crab Atlanta, right? Soul Crab is bringing in, X amount of dollars per month, right? I have to look and see how much money does it cost me to run Soul Crab, right? And if it costs me a nice amount of money to run Soul Crab, but I'm making a nice amount of money on the top end on the revenue, and I'm able to pull out and reevaluate number 5, my profitability, and it looks like I'm comfortable with that, why not do it? You see what I'm saying? Why not do it? So that's how I look at business, right? In its totality. So I really want you to hone in. If you're ready to rock and roll, I want you to hone in on slide number 8 because each one of those 5 steps will actually walk you through what we call the product earning. Now, let's talk about branding for a second, right? I've got some examples and stuff I want to talk to you about, but let's talk about branding for 1 second. And branding is a part of that go game plan circle that we're talking about. One of the things that entrepreneurs make the mistake of, and I'm on slide number 9, is they say, well, Darius, do I have to be out in front of the camera? Do I have to be out in front of what's going on? Do I have to be there? Because I'm kind of an introvert or I'm kind of shy and I don't really know what's going on and I don't want to, I'm not as articulate as I should or whatever the case might be, right? Here's what I need you to understand when it comes to product and brand creation, right? Depending upon what you're good at and how you choose to either to monetize that product or that service, you've got a brand. You got 2 options, right? You could brand yourself as the company or you could brand yourself as the brand. Whew. Let me break it down, okay? I know this is probably a new concept for some people, but you're familiar with this. You just don't think you're familiar with it. Huh? You know about this. You just don't think you know about this, right? Favorite soft drink. Name it. What do you like? What your favorite soft drink? What do you enjoy? Do you like Coke? Do you like Coke Zero? Do you like, okay, I see somebody likes Orange Fanta. Okay, I got some Sprite people out here. I got some Pepsi people. Okay, you like Pepsi. You like Sprite. LaCroix. Oh, you're fancy. That nasty water. Oh, you like LaCroix. Okay. Someone said Nantucket Nectar. Oh my God. I haven't heard that in forever. Nantucket Nectar is up there with Clearly Canadian. I haven't heard Clearly Canadian in years. Okay. Arizona. Okay. Everything Coke. Okay. All right. So I said water. Come on, water. Yes, water. Well, guess what? You know about branding. You just don't think you know about branding. Who owns Pepsi? Who owns Coke? That orange crush that you love so much, what person owns that? I don't know. I don't care. I just know I like it cold. I like it with my food. I like it when I sit down and eat it. I like it when we go to the barbecue and my uncle got the big garbage can full of ice and I put my hand down there and get hypothermia in my elbow because I put my hand down to put out a Hawaiian punch. I don't really care. I don't know who owns it, and I really don't really care who owns it, right? What I care about is how it makes me feel. I care about how it tastes. That is branding as not a person, but branding as the actual company, right? Things that you see. Who owns Ford? I don't know who owns Ford. I don't know who owns Mercedes-Benz. I don't know the person that owns BMW. I have no idea who owns it because we don't care about who owns it, because what we care about is the actual product itself and how it makes us feel. That is a typical example of branding as the absolute company. Now, the difference between branding as the company and branding as you as the brand is Beyonce probably can't be somebody else she ain't. So when we look at Beyonce, for those of us who like Beyonce, we kind of looking at Beyonce like, okay, we care about Beyonce. We care about where she's eating. We care about what she's wearing. We care about, what her and Jay-Z are doing. We care about what party they're attending, right? Because all the branding around Beyonce is about Beyonce as the brand, right? And I see entrepreneurs making the mistake of not really understanding which way they should brand. It depends on what it is you're offering. As DariusCooks.tv, all the content you care about has to be uniquely germane to who I am. I said those of us who care about it. I know everybody do not care about Beyonce. I get that. But for those people who do, I'm making a point. Or your favorite musician, your favorite artist, whatever the case might be, right? Listen, don't miss the forest for the trees, Doc, okay? Come on now. It depends on what product you're offering. It depends on what service you're offering. For myself, I can't brand who I am as somebody else. So that means that if it's something that I have to offer, I need to be the one who's literally in front of the camera doing what I'm doing. But guess what I could do though? Guess what I could do? I could probably segment a little bit. Watch this. This is key. I could probably segment my business a little bit to a point where maybe I don't have to be in front all the time. What do you mean? Hey, wait, what? What are you talking about? Well, let me see. I think people need a resource because they might want to go vegan, or they may want to be they might want to be exposed to more vegan options. And since there's not any out there, why don't I create a product that helps them? I could create a cookbook. I could create some kind of tool that helps people who may want to go through a transition or make it a little easier for them. Great. Well, if I create that tool, what if I started a Facebook group? I don't have to run the Facebook group. I don't have to go live in the Facebook group, but it sets up a space where people feel comfortable to share their experiences. How many of you are in the Facebook group Vegan But With Soul? Let me just see, show of hands. How many people are in there's 80,000 of you who are in my group, Vegan But With Soul, right? You're in there. They know you're there. Guess what? I don't post in that group all the time. Someone who works for me posts in that group. You have no idea. She logs in as me every single day and she posts in that group. I don't have to be at the forefront, but I have to be behind the strategy to keep the community going, right? If I wanted to create content that spoke to people, right, about, let's say, how to create vegan recipes, one of the most popular vegan recipes I have right now is that sweet potato curry. I could create a video with that sweet potato curry, right? That video for that curry does not have to be me. It could be nothing but actual B-rolls of a light-skinned person. It's me in the video, but I'm saying it could be someone who doesn't look like me with their hands making the actual dish. We can get a voiceover to do the voiceover for the whole video. Guess what we have? A whole tutorial with my content, and I'm never at the forefront. Guess what we could do? We could post that content on social media, right? And then we can create an audience group for everybody who engages with that content. That if you engage with that content on social media, guess what? You might be interested. You know what I could do? I could set up retargeting ads to come after you on social media so that when you log in and you see, hey, a vegan cookbook, how did Facebook know I was interested in vegan stuff? How did Facebook know that? Somebody set up a retargeting ad because of a video that you saw and set in the algorithm. So now I'm gonna say, hey, would you like to buy a vegan cookbook? You're gonna say, no, I'm not really that serious. I'm gonna say, hey, the vegan cookbook is 50% off. You gotta get it. You're gonna say, you know what? At 50% off, maybe I should buy this cookbook. Here I go. I'm gonna buy this cookbook. Guess what I just did? I just made a sale, made money online without ever being the face or the voice of the brand. It's possible, people. It's possible. You learned this in my 8-week course. Stay with me. I'm gonna teach you something, okay? Now, branding evaluation is all about what will you do or what are you doing to constantly build relationships on a large scale with your customers. You need to write down the word community, please. Please write down the word community, all right? You have to understand that everything we do is all about the C word, community, all right? Now I'm on slide number 11. This is lovely. Slide 11 is a picture of my grandmother. Pamela Elizabeth Garth was the person who literally inspired me to be everything I am today. She died in 1999, and in my opinion, she died way too soon. She passed away way too soon. But I lived with my grandmother when she passed away, and I could vividly remember the day. It was sort of like a nice warm day in Chicago. The leaves were changing. It was in October. And my grandmother, what happened was she just wasn't feeling herself. She wasn't feeling herself, and she actually ended up like her mind, she kind of like started losing it in her mind a little bit. We just knew something, like instinctively, we knew something wasn't right with my grandmother. I remember this. And I remember she was on the couch in the living room and she had used the restroom on herself. So she had literally like lost the ability to even like, you know, hold it or communicate. Like something just wasn't right and we just had no idea what was going on. So in a rage, of course, we called 911 and they take my grandmother to West Suburban Hospital. If you're in Chicago, you know West Suburban is in Oak Park on Austin Boulevard. So the fire department comes, they leave, they send the paramedics, they pack up my grandmother, they ship her off to the emergency room. Well, I stayed behind a little bit because I wanted to like clean the house and get the house back tidy because it was kind of a mess from everything that was going on. And so I basically walked over to the hospital a couple of hours after she had already been there because I'm just trying to make sure everything is straight at the house. So I get to the hospital and I guess what I could describe is, I guess, like a triage area where like my grandmother is like not that far from me, but she has this like curtain around her, so I can't really see her, but I could hear her. You know, I could kind of hear what was going on. And what was so surprising, so my aunt was there and some other family members had gotten there at that point. And I remember very vividly, my grandma, I could hear her voice, and I would hear her say, "Stop, Darius. Darius, quit doing that. Darius, ouch. Darius, stop touching me." She kept saying my name, and I thought it was very weird, you know, because I'm like, I'm not there with her. Like, I don't really get that. So in my mind, I'm thinking the doctor who's there was, you know, 6'4", chocolate, dark skin. You know, I had a beard back then, but I had a little piece of hair, so maybe he had a bald fade. I'm thinking the doctor looks like me, right? So out comes this Jewish, pale white, you know, balding guy with, you know, blue eyes and glasses, 5'6". I'm looking down at him. I'm like, this is very weird to me. Like, it's really weird. Now, I'm concerned about my grandmother, but, you know, she's in good hands at the hospital. And I'm trying to figure out, I just don't understand, like, what is going on. So I'm talking to the doctor. I'm asking the doctor, I'm saying, hey, man, let me ask you a question. What's happening? Why? I'm not there with her. Why does she think I'm there? Why is she calling my name? And, you know, what made her call my name? And the doctor said, well, let me explain something to you. In the time of distress, right? Our brain has this sort of automatic mechanism that simply allows you to recall when times or circumstances or situations might have been a little calmer. It's the way the brain is made. So right now, she's got some brain things going on, and what's kicking in right now is this sort of autopilot that makes her feel very comfortable. So the fact that I am harming her, she feels like it, but she's calling your name, must mean that there's something about who you are that makes her feel comfortable, and that's why she's doing it. It is a brain thing. It is the way the brain works. I got it. That is what branding is. Branding is whenever someone has a need, someone has a want, someone has something that is there that they say, I need to do this, they immediately call your name. If you've done a good job with branding, you will also do a good job with revenue. This is exactly what branding is. Think about it in your own life and put the example on your own life, right? The moment you say to yourself, gosh, I want barbecue, where do you go? Without thinking about it, you go to your favorite barbecue spot. The moment you say, I want something sweet, I want a piece of cake, where do you go? Your favorite cake spot. The moment you say, oh my gosh, I need more dishwashing liquid, it doesn't matter if the Dawn is 80% more than the Joy, what are you buying? The Dawn. Because in your mind, it has made you feel a certain way. This is what branding is. This is why we spend tons of hours, tons of dollars on creating content that speaks directly to what it is you might need. And this is the reason I know it works. Watch this. The minute you said to yourself, I need a macaroni and cheese recipe that's amazing, where do you go? Not everybody, but majority of you, macaroni and cheese, right? The moment you said to yourself, I haven't been making this cornbread dressing right at all. I saw something online that Darius did. Go to Darius's website. Some of y'all send me pictures. You're on my blog, watching my videos, walking through the grocery store, okay? This is because I've done a very good job at saying, hey, here's something that you need to make you feel comfortable. Let me be the one to provide it for you. Now, I'm doing this free of charge. I am not charging you for the macaroni and cheese recipe because, again, what am I playing? Chess, not checkers. You see what I'm saying? You people who are not millionaires immediately think, I got a recipe, let me charge for it. No! Hey. Once you've increased your like, your know, and your trust factor, if people can make your food and trust that it's good, if they like your personality, they're already going to be in tune with whatever you are offering. So my job is not to charge you for a recipe. I offer it to you freely. But you better believe I'm coming back around at some point saying, I've got a product. Here you go. Okay? Another example, a very key example, is I have, I live in this amazing house. This house now it's 9 bedrooms and 6 bathrooms. 6,500 square feet is what I live in. Just one person, right? I'm in Atlanta. Real estate is cheap. Don't trip, okay? People saw that and they said, damn, how did you do that? It's not that you got a lot of money, you got good credit. See, when I went ahead and figured out how to get my credit together, and I saw that it was a need for other people, that it was a no-brainer to start my credit company above701.com. It was a no-brainer. So what happens is that when people go, I'm ready to make a decision, I'm ready to get my credit fixed, I'm going to Darius. Because look at where he lives. I want to live like that. When you see me in my convertible that I post online, I post a convertible because guess what? I have the credit to get it. Many of you saw me 2 weeks ago. I wanted to get rid of my Jeep. I was tired of that Jeep. That Jeep is rickety. I'm a little bit more mature now at 37 years old. I needed some luxury. So you know what? I'm a BMW boy. I'm going to get me an X5. I walked right in, picked up the X5, walked right out. You see what I'm saying? That's because of the credit. So what happens is that when you have something that you're able to offer, people who have a need, they're going to be tuned into what you're doing and they're going to come back to you every single time over and over again. So I want you to understand that branding in itself, now this is different from marketing, all right? Go with me. This is all about branding. I'm on slide number 12. Branding has nothing to do with a consumer buying your product. Branding has nothing to do with that, okay? Branding has everything to do with how people feel about your product, how they feel. If there is no emotional connection, there will be no revenue. You spend money in places that you are emotionally drawn to, okay? The key is always about emotional connection. And let me just bust the bubble for you real fast. A great brand can have an inferior product and still be a great brand. A great brand can have an inferior product and still be a great brand. McDonald's, by all accounts, one of the most successful brands in American history. 2013, they made $28 billion selling hamburgers and cheeseburgers. Wow. $28 billion. Tell me the last time McDonald's won a taste test for hamburgers and cheeseburgers. Huh? When was the last time McDonald's won a taste test for hamburgers and cheeseburgers? But they sold $28 billion worth. I didn't know we've been on for an hour. This time go by so fast. Y'all, hold on 1 second. Instagram, they gave me the warning. I got 1 minute and 23 seconds. Let me stop the Instagram and restart it. I'm sorry, y'all. Hold on. I didn't even know the time. You know, we be on here so long. We be talking so much. I had no idea. Gosh, it's been an hour already. Jesus. Let me end this. Come on, let's keep going. Okay. Mercedes-Benz. Another example. You can say what you want about Mercedes-Benz. They're garbage cars. Okay. What is that car? That G-Class, that G-Wagon car It's one of the worst cars ever to be created, right? But that thing costs $125,000 brand new, souped up. That G-Wagon is absolutely horrible. But guess what? They made $11 billion, right? You can argue what you want to say about Apple, and Lord knows we do, about who's apostolic and who's not, okay? 2013, Apple made $31 billion. Apple is on track to be $1 trillion company, right? $1 trillion company, okay? And you already know some of these tools and tricks on Apple, Samsung came up with them first, okay? I'm just gonna keep it real, all right? Air Jordan, I got a gazillion of them. I buys them. I just bought the Chinese New Year's the other day. I buys them, doc. Okay, them shoes ain't the most comfortable shoe. They ain't never won no field test for being the most comfortable shoe in the world ever. But guess what? $2.5 billion in 2013. All right. You can have. I'm not. Now watch this. I'm not telling you to go create bad products. It's not what I'm saying. But I want you to understand the difference between branding and marketing. Okay. And I want you to understand why branding is so important. Let me just show you one example. I gotta keep going. I gotta go because we gotta end it. Okay. On slide 14, it says, what is branding? Branding is all the associations that come to mind when your customers or potential customers see or hear your name. In order to place yourself securely in the minds of your customers, you have to build relationships, right? There is that community again, okay? You have to build relationships, and you do this by speaking to the needs of your audience. This is called branding. Now, I want to show you how you could be missing money on social media. Can I show you an example? I'm all about case studies, and then we got to go. I got to end it early. Let me show you an example. Y'all know this guy? Does he look familiar to y'all? Anybody know him? Anybody ever seen him before? I'm on slide number 15. You ever seen this guy before? He's very popular. He's a very, very, very popular guy. Okay? Very popular. If you can't really see it, that is not Carlton Banks. If you've not seen him or you don't follow him, you've seen his content. You've seen his content. He does all church videos that are really funny. He has characters, Sister Bun, Sister Mary, the pastor, Lil Lily. He's all these characters, right? I like doing case studies on Carlton because I think this is a classic example of how someone could miss the coin on social media. All right? Can we talk about him for a second? I love Carlton. I think his stuff is unique. It's amazing. I'm friends. I'm social media buddies with him. He's come to my restaurant, and I'm social media buddies with his manager. I think Carlton is amazing. Let's talk about how Carlton is missing some money, okay? Carlton has 772,000 Instagram followers. 772,000 Instagram followers. He's got 19,000 on Twitter. On Facebook, he has 190,000 followers on Facebook. And on Periscope, he's got about 10,000 followers. His organic reach, okay? Organic means I hit a button and without anyone ever hitting a share or reshare or anything, his organic reach on a conservative level is about 400,000 people, right? Wouldn't it be amazing if you could reach 400,000 people with a click of a button? That's what he can do, all right? With that being said, the reshare potential, and I'm being super conservative with these numbers. Some of his stuff is going viral to the tune of 10, 12, 20 million views. I'm calling it 3.5 million, okay? I'm calling it 3.5 million because I want to be very conservative because I want to show you even on the low end where we're going to hit at. Right now, today, Carlton Humes, not Carlton Banks, does not have a tangible product. You cannot go to his website. You cannot go to his Instagram. You cannot go to his Shopify store, put in your credit card, and buy something from him. He has nothing he can sell you, right? Now, he has done a few things with t-shirts, and he's done a few things with, with the keyboard and all that, the emojis and all that, but he doesn't have a tangible product that you can go to his website and you can buy it. What does he have? A brand. He has a collection of people, a collection of interests tuned in to what he's doing. But Carlton does not have a product. Now watch this. Let's do some ghetto math real fast. Case study. Carlton is good at these church characters and whatnot. What if he put together a DVD slash download slash stream of an hour-long comedy situation, right? You know, something that people would be into. We watch him enough that we would really be interested in what he has to offer. I would be interested at least, right? Well, let's say he retailed that for $29.99. You pay $30 for it, wouldn't you? If you're really in tune to Carlton, right, and you like his stuff, you know it's funny, he did his marketing right, $30. It's not a lot of money. You go and pay $30 to see what he has to offer. $30, right? With the organic reach of 400,000 and the resale potential of 3.5 million in 12 months, and this is so conservative, in 1 year, we're telling Carlton that he needs to sell 100,000 units. That's in 1 year, okay? The boy has the resale potential of 3.5 million. 3.5 million, and I'm saying I want you to sell 100,000 units. If he did that, he would revenue $2,999,000. He could make $3 million in 1 year. He could bring in a monthly revenue of $250,000. Chess, not checkers, people. Chess, not checkers, okay? Listen, the ultimate goal here simply is to build community. And I want to get into more, but our time is spent. We're done. It's an hour into it. We got to go. I teach more of this. This is our last time doing this live and free. I teach more of this in this 8-week course I offer. The 8-week course is called Business Baseline. And as you can see on the screen or in your notes on page number 18, there are lots of things that we go over to set you up to make 7 figures in your business. I've given you lots of key ideas. I hope that your mind frame has been shifted. There are 2 options. I'm just going to skip over all this. There's 2 options for this 8-week course that you can take. That you can do a live version with me. It's usually $797. We're going to only charge you $597 until February 24th. Or the self-study is normally $497. I'm only offering it to you for $347. You can go to DariusCooks.tv/focus. If you are ready to sign up, you can go there and knock your socks off. We're going to get started on a Wednesday, the 27th, with the 8-week course. If you've got questions, just reply to me from all the emails I've sent you or send me an email at Darius@DariusCooks.com. All right. In conclusion for tonight, I want you to pick your spot on the map, right? There's that revenue map. There's that coaching piece of it. There's that branding, all of that. There's the social media. There's the revenue mapping. Pick your spot on the map, and then let's get started. I want you to think about what's going to make people call your name, right? What is going to make people literally call your name? I want you to understand that branding is key. Marketing is always going to be secondary, and then obviously community building is going to be so important. So how you build your community is going to be very, very, very important. All right. Who is ready for the 8-week course? Do I have anybody still watching live that's saying, you know what, Darius, this sounds like something I kind of want to get involved in? Okay. If that's you, I'd love to have you. All you have to do is go to DariusCooks.tv /focus, and you can sign up today. All right. Don't worry. I'm going to make sure I shoot you guys a couple of more emails. Okay. Just to get your gears going and get you guys ready to go. We're going to have a fantastic time. Like literally, this is what the marketplace needs, because we got to get you guys where you need to be. Okay. Get you guys where you need to be. All right. Listen, 2 things I want to tell you, as I always do. I love yous. Number 1, that's 3 things. Number 2, food is my life. Life is my food. Until next time, I want to wish y'all happy cooking, happy millionairing, happy dreaming, happy chasing your goals and your vision, happy changing your life, okay? Literally, from my heart to yours. Bye, y'all.